Okay, so we're back over here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to set up the front door for our house over here. So let's get that front door entrance. The front door is going to be double doors. It's not going to be a single door because we're going to have this nice kind of grand entrance deal going on. So let's take one of the doors that we've already created. I'll take just one from the hallway in there, and I'll use the move tool, hold down shift, and move that over here to the front entrance to make a copy of it and clone it over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is going to be double doors. So what I need to do is make the width over here, as you can see in the modified tab over here. I want to make the width double. So if you take 2 feet 8 inches and you double it, you end up with 5 feet 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in 5 feet 4 inches. There we go. Now it looks like just this one big square door here, which looks very strange. So what we're going to do is we're going to check off the double doors option down here. There we go. Now that looks much better. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is align this into position. So let me move this door out of the way over here. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a similar technique that I've been using so far to align the doors. I'll go to the house here, go to polygon mode. I'm going to select this polygon here and this polygon right there just by control clicking on those. I'm going to go up to the graphite modeling tools, go to the modify selection menu, and right here I'm going to go ahead and hit this loop button right here. So I'll hit loop, and that'll select the entire loop of polygons all the way around this little kind of door frame area right there. Okay, I'm going to use the scale tool, and I want to make sure that I have my mode set to use selection center. Okay, and I'm going to hold down shift while I scale this in the Y and the Z axis right here. Okay, so scale that a little bit like that. It's going to ask you what you want to clone to an object or element. I want to clone it to a new object. I'll hit OK. So now I have this new object right here, very similar to what we've done already recently. Okay, so I'm going to take the door, and I'm going to use the align tool, and I'm going to select that new piece of geometry that I created. There we go. And I'm going to select center and center. And that's it. I'll hit OK. Now I know that I have to move the door back down because it moved. So let me open up the transform type in tool, F12 to do that. And I can see in the Z axis it moved up 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and type in 0. So it's laying right on the ground. And there we go. Now let's take this little strip of geometry that we ripped off, that we used to align the door, and let's get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. It served its purpose. Okay, we can see that the actual doorway geometry in the wall is a little bit too big for the door, but that's okay. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go to polygon mode. Let's select this polygon here on the end and the polygon on the opposite end. We're going to right click to open up the quad menu, and let's go to extrude and open up the tools menu for extrude. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to leave the extrude type set to group, and let's take the extrusion height and let's just manipulate it using the spinner right here. And we just want to move it in toward this door frame. Okay, it doesn't have to be precise or exact. I think a value of about 8 inches is going to work out just fine. So I'll move that and hit OK. Alright, there it is. Now for the top, this is what I'm going to do for the top. I'm going to go to edge mode, and I'm going to select this edge and that edge. And then I'm going to go to the quad menu and go to the connect options. And I'm going to make it 2 segments and hit OK. I'm going to go to polygon mode. I'm going to take this polygon because there's an awkward polygon right there, so I'm going to take that polygon as well as the one on the opposite side, delete those. Now if I go inside the model here, so if we go inside the mesh, inside this polygon object, we can see we have an inside polygon right there from the extrusion from before. So we need to take that polygon, delete it, and do that for the opposite side as well. There it is. Okay, if I go to see-through mode, you can clearly see the polygon that's in there, and that's not good, so we'll get rid of that. And we know that we also have polygons on the bottom from the same exact extrusion, so I'm going to take those polygons as well and get rid of them. Okay. Now to seal up the hole that we have here is actually very easy to do. I'll go to Edge Mode, go to the quad menu and activate the Target Weld tool. And I'll just come in here and target weld that like so. There we go. Now that area is sealed off. Now next thing to do would be to take this polygon up here and just grab it and move it down. And this you can just eyeball. It doesn't have to be a perfect value here. So we can always take that and just move it down a bit. Okay. Now I don't need this edge or this edge anymore, or even this edge for that matter. So I'm going to go ahead and control backspace to get rid of those. And over here I'll take these two edges and control backspace to get rid of those. So I end up with this perfectly sealed doorway area here, where our actual door frame just fits in nicely. Okay. Now I don't like the actual size of the door frame. I think it's a bit too small for this area. So what I'm going to do is select my door here, and in my parameters over here I need to go to the frame parameters and I need to make just a couple of changes over here. Okay. And let me see what I want to change. I'm probably going to have to change the depth parameter here for the frame. So let's go ahead and increase that. And we can see that that actually fixes the problem. And we can see the frame kind of sticking out of the wall a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and make this 2 inches. There we go. So that's pretty good. So that's a pretty large door frame, which is good. It's the entrance, the main entrance to the house. So it's perfectly fine. And if we scroll down here to the leaf parameters in the command panel, we can see we have ourselves a couple of interesting parameters. For example, we can change the way that these panels right here look. We can add a couple of more. So I can come in here and maybe add two more panels horizontally and vertically. And you can see the effect that has immediately. It creates a more interesting door and something that looks more reminiscent of a main entrance door to a house. So really it's about coming in here and playing around with these parameters just to get something that you like. So I come in here and increase this parameter to about 7, and I get myself these interesting panels on my doors, and you could change a lot of different settings here. So it's really up to you to come in here and play around with this, have some creative freedom with it, and see what kind of door you can come up with. Let me come back up here, and the doors open outwards, which probably shouldn't be the case. So let me flip the swing. There we go. So they should open inward like this, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm happy with the front doors here, and I'm done with that for now. So I'm going to end this video here, and in the next one we're going to get started on windows. We have to start creating windows for our building here.